This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
That's what you're doing.
This is Tooth and Claw Podcast, and I'm our main host, Jeff Larson, and then I have my two helpers,
Sidekicks.
Wes Larson and Mike Smith, and it's a podcast where we kind of just talk about anything and everything.
That's not true. Well, it kind of is, I guess. This is a podcast where we talk about animal attacks and what people can learn from them and how these animals are often demonized in the news, which we'll be talking about today on our news episode.
That's a better job describing it.
Thanks for helping Jeff out. We are his helpers after all.
We are.
I guess is what it turns out we are.
You're the tech guy, I'm the science guy.
There's probably a better way to explain our dynamic, too.
No, you're just shooting from the hip there. Can't blame you too much.
It's just,
Jeff, did you do an escape room last night?
Yeah.
Did you get out?
It wasn't that good. I was wondering what they count as successful. Because the lady at the end, when we weren't going to make it, just kind of started walking us through everything. Technically, we made it out with like a minute left. Yeah. But it's like a lot of help. It's kind of one where they assumed you just like know things, and it's like if you don't, you just are stuck forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's like music notes, and none of us knew how to read music notes, and you had to be able to read the music notes.
Yeah, that kind of throws you off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. You got to know, what's the acronym? Every good boy deserves chocolate or whatever. Like the notes sending up the... There's some acronym for it.
It's a very creepy acronym.
I know.
That's like a guy rolling down his window and saying that to some kids on the
Plus,
street.
it's like not even true, because bad boys like chocolate too. Or is it every good boy deserves chocolate? I don't know. Yeah,
I think bad boys deserve a little chocolate.
I think so too.
I think I need to start going like regularly to escape rooms though. Yeah. Because like 30 minutes in, I started getting a really bad headache. Okay. And I was like, man, I must not be thinking enough in general.
Your head's just like, whoa.
I just got the worst headache ever.
Yeah.
So I got sunglasses on right now. I'm feeling it still.
There's other ways.
Like when you work out for the first time in forever, that's how my brain is right now.
It's just like laying in a heap on the floor, breathing
just
hard.
Like, oh my God, what did you do to me?
That would be kind of funny if you just decided the only way you can train your brain is by going to escape rooms when there's like literature and puzzles. And
Houdini would have been so smart. He would have been doing E = MC² instead of that other guy.
Yeah, that old guy.
Einstein.
Well, I'm glad you made it out, Jeff. This wouldn't be the same without you.
Would have been
our main host. We need our main host here. Anything else you guys want to report before we get into our news stories for the week?
No, I'm tired. I'm tired of bantering.
I got nothing. I had to feed some pigs this morning because Jesse's gone, which was the one thing I said I'd never do, but I did it.
You have pigs. That's right. We knew you had pigs.
We haven't two pigs, and I said I would never help with them because I didn't want to do anything with the pigs, but I also enjoy some time alone. From time to time, and Jessie said she would leave for a couple days, but that I would have to take care of the pigs. So
smart move, Jessie. Yeah. It's a good exchange. Sounds like.
Yeah, and they didn't eat me. They didn't kill me. I didn't trip and fall, and they didn't kill me. So day one.
That would have been bad for us. It would have helped with one story.
That's
true.
We
would have had like one episode's worth of story, but we would have lost. A lot of credibility.
Would have been a banger.
We could have turned that into a two-parter at least.
Give all the background of him. Yeah.
The whole life story.
I would hope that you guys would make a two-parter regardless of how I die by animal.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bring Tom Smith on. Be like, hey, Tom, tell us about Wes.
Maybe bring your mom on.
Yeah. She's just shouting out listeners the whole time.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about them news stories, eh?
Let's do it.
For any new listeners, this is a news episode where we just cover recent attacks that have happened throughout the world. And you know what? Summer months tend to be the
productive.
Most attacks that we can find. So
they're not always attacks too. Sometimes we do some just interesting animal news stories too, but mostly attacks.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mostly attacks.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure, I kept you on your toes.
Well, and we like to call them encounters too. So that's on me too.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's our first encounter?
Well, I'm going to do one that kind of hits close to home. And when I started working at Yellowstone, I'm going to be honest with you guys and just say something that maybe I might get a little flack for.
Okay.
Part of me really wanted there to be a mauling while I was working with bear management at Yellowstone. And it's because I have worked in bear conflict for so long and I've learned so much about all these stories, but I've never been like the first one on the scene or someone that's like responded to a bear that mauled someone. And that was just an experience I wanted to have.
Be careful what you wish for type of situation.
Maybe. But I will say, like, my colleagues that have done it, they always kind of talk about it in hushed tones, but you could always kind of tell it was like a highlight for them and something it was like a story they liked telling, You
guys are sickos. Oh my gosh. These are the people in charge of keeping us safe out there? I don't know.
Well, Mike, I'm not out there anymore, so...
thank goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, Yellowstone had averaged about one mauling per year for the last few decades, but then when I started, there weren't any maulings for a few years. And then I left Yellowstone
You were great.
Focus on the
we
podcast.
Need to get you back out there. No, quit the podcast, get out there. You're better used.
No,
in the field.
The drought would start up again. Yeah, true. I guess that is a good thing. Anyway... The drought is over. On Friday, September 16th, a 29-year-old hiker was attacked by a bear while walking the Turbid Lake Trail near Mary Bay in Yellowstone National Park. This hiker had been hiking alone on this trail when he apparently surprised the bear, and he tried to use his bear spray, but the bear made contact with him first, and then I think he was able to successfully deploy some of his spray. So he sustained significant but not life-threatening injuries to his chest and his left arm. So basically this bear made contact, mauled him a bit. He managed to get some spray off. It ended the encounter. Then he was able to call for help, and medical personnel responded, walked him out of the trail, and got him to the hospital. So
you're right. That does sound fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be more interesting to like investigate a fatality or something.
I'm just giving you.
I don't want anyone to die. Yeah, but the more fun part of it for the managers, and I shouldn't say fun, but the interesting part, a thing that is interesting in these things, is then responding to the situation afterward. Like, what do you do with this bear? If it is kind of something that seems like a behavior that's not normal, then you do have to do something. This seemed like very normal behavior. They actually found a carcass nearby, lots of tracks. He thought it was a black bear, but this is like, if I were to tell someone one place to go in the park to see grizzly bears, I would tell them to go right where this guy was hiking. So it's almost certainly a grizzly bear. They found lots of grizzly tracks in the area, and there was a carcass near this trail. So almost certainly a grizzly. This is a pretty dangerous part of the park to be hiking around in. I probably wouldn't do it, especially alone. It's just prime grizzly bear habitat. He was flown to a hospital. He was released this last Wednesday, and I'm just really happy he had bear spray because he avoided a more serious outcome, and I got to avoid some more FOMO for not being there when a fatality happened, So
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Good job on that guy's part.
Thanks
or
for
bad
sparing
job.
me.
I don't know. I'm not
FOMO.
Sure anymore.
I think the last fatality was 2015, and we'll talk about that one at some point. But Yellowstone's on a good little streak with their conflict prevention, and I think a lot of that is due to some of the work that they do with bears, like hazing. Yeah, some of the stuff I did there, not me personally, but the bear management team. And then a lot of it is good education too. There's a lot of signs and pamphlets and stuff telling people about the risks of hiking and recreating in bear country. So
are bears
good job, Yellowstone.
Still the leading source of fatal encounters in Yellowstone?
No, not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah.
What is that?
So in the whole history of the park, there's been 8 fatalities from bears. There have been hundreds of drownings. I think that's number 1.
Oh,
no, falls.
okay.
I think falls are number 1, then drowning.
Sure. But as far as animals are concerned,
as far as animals, I would guess it's bison.
Oh,
I
point.
bet bison have killed a fair number more than bears. Bears are probably second, though. Yeah, I don't think mosquitoes have killed anyone in Yellowstone.
Elk.
Bears are probably second after. Elk probably have, but I would guess grizzlies are number 2 after bison, would be my guess. But like dozens of people have fallen into hot springs and died there. I mean, bears aren't even the top 10, I would guess, for when it comes to fatalities in the park.
Imagine when the super volcano explodes, bears, their stats not going to look impressive at all.
No, not at all. Versus 8 billion or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, stay safe out there, guys. It's fall. Bears are in hyperphagia, so they're trying to put on as much weight as possible before they den. So this is a high risk time if you're in grizzly country, especially. So just make sure you have bear spray. Make sure you're making plenty of noise. Because this was a surprise encounter, the bear didn't do anything unnatural. They're not trying to do anything to this bear. They're just going to leave it. This was very much natural behavior for this bear.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a grizzly bear one as well, so I'll just go. I was put on to this one from a listener named Scotty, and it's a friend's sister-in-law this happened to out in Kenai. Is that how you spell it? Kenai, Alaska.
Yeah, this is where Tom has his cabin.
Oh, really? Tom Smith, Wes's mentor and professor.
Spent a fair amount of time in Kenai myself.
Master?
Sure, master. Yeah.
You guys basically just doxed Tom to all those bears listening out there.
I'm the Igor to his Dracula. Or no, is Igor a Dracula guy or is that a Frankenstein guy?
Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein. What was Dracula's little... Oh, Renfield. I'm the Renfield to his Dracula. Yeah. Just eating bugs.
You're the worm tongue to his Sauron.
Saruman.
Yeah. Who's kind of the worm... Saruman is kind of the worm tongue to Sauron. It's a weird little daisy chain you can...
And Sauron's kind of the worm tongue to Morgoth.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
So who's Tom's
how deep
Sauron?
Does this go?
Tom Sauron is Stephen Herrero.
Well, Scotty put me onto this story because there is an active GoFundMe. So it is Arian Fabrizio Colton is the GoFundMe.
Is that really Arian?
It does look like Arian. Ariean.
Okay.
So the Colton family, they just moved out to Alaska. I've thought about moving out to Alaska. I know Tom loves his little spot he has out there, Wes.
Yeah.
And it just seems like a really exciting time in this family's life. We had to go back a little there, so I don't know if I said this. She's a mother of 3. She's married. They're happily married. They're starting their family, or like they're starting another chapter in their family's life out in Alaska now. It just probably had an incredible summer, since that's the main reason you go to Alaska. The winters are probably a little rough to get through. Miss Colton, she enjoyed running in the mornings. And Wes, what's the worst time for a bear encounter?
Early mornings or late evenings. Yeah.
So she liked to run early morning.
Yeah.
And
I would say those, not the worst time, but that's like the highest probability time.
So
why wouldn't you say it's the worst time?
Yeah.
Because you said, what's the worst time for a bear encounter? And I just feel like any time's a bad time for a bear encounter.
Wes,
But your highest probability time of running into a bear is like early morning or,
semantics. He pwned you, dude, linguistically.
I was,
You got me.
Okay.
So
it was a riddle.
She starts her morning run almost 6 a.m., still very early, and makes it only about 50 yards from her house when a brown bear that was on the neighbor's property just like ran straight over to her and mauled her. And it was mauling her on the property she like got the wind knocked out of her, so wasn't like yelling actively, but the neighbor heard barking and wolfing sounds of a bear. So Wes, you're really good at the wolfing sounds. Yeah, so he hears a bear out there. He thinks like maybe it got a dog in the neighborhood, or maybe it has something. Didn't think too much of it, but then he kept hearing more and more, so he goes out and walks out and sees his female neighbor just like in the woods on his property, and immediately calls for help, but they're an hour and a half from a hospital, so it takes her a really long time to get out to like actual hospital. But she's a loving wife, mother of 3, nurse, known for like being adventurous, having like a love of nature, and we just want to shout out her GoFundMe. So she sustained multiple broken ribs, a scapula fracture, a hand fracture, and went through surgery, but she's going to require more. She's unable to see out of her left eye right now, and will continue extensive outpatient physical therapy.
Yeah.
So that's Arian Fabrizio Colton's GoFundMe if you want to go help out. Tooth and Claw donated some money to it. Go donate some money to it if you are able.
Do you know what really sucks about, unironically, this sucks. No matter what, a bear encounter is going to be rough. But I hate the idea of like getting up early and going out to do something healthy, and then just the least healthy possible thing happens to me.
Yeah, it's like now you gotta go through physical therapy forever just to be able to like try to be healthy again.
Right. I was just like out on a run. That's all I was trying to do.
At least like she didn't have to run for that long.
That's true.
Running sucks.
I hate running. Oh my gosh. This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. A lot of people aren't aware of how much they spend each month. Do you know how many subscriptions you pay for? What about how much you spend on takeout or delivery? I mean, I've discovered a new Korean fried chicken next to my place. I've been getting it delivered almost every day. It's become a real problem. Rocket Money is what helped me ultimately solve that problem. A little more healthier both in the gut and in the wallet. Man, it's so good though. And with prices going up on just about everything lately, dealing with money can be stressful. Luckily, Rocket Money can relieve some of that stress and help you feel confident in the financial decisions you make. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you. The app automatically scans your bills to find opportunities to save and then goes to work to get you better deals. They'll even talk to customer service, so you don't have to. It's a dream come true for me. Rocket Money's 5 million members have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, with members saving up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/claw today. That's rocketmoney.com/claw. Is fitness uniquely a human endeavor? Are there any animals that work out?
Purposely try to get more fit?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think they just
I feel
naturally.
like wolves have like a lot of energy and kind of like run around a lot.
I think a lot of animals have that, but I don't think they're like purposely thinking, man, I'm not feeling that great. I need to like get stronger.
Like doing push-ups, pumping
there's
the
no
chest.
there's no way for us to know that, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. Because usually in like in the animal kingdom, what we think is most animals are doing their best to conserve energy whenever they can. It's like their constant struggle is trying to get energy by way of food and conserve energy to survive. So it doesn't really make sense for many animals to like be wasting energy.
I think the argument I would pose though is that males especially need to get pretty big for mating purposes a lot of the time. Like the strongest, biggest males get the most mating opportunities. So maybe they're like seeking ways to get like bigger and stronger.
I don't think they understand. No, I was just going to say, I don't think that's like a conscious thing. Yeah, but I don't think they know like the relationship between like physical activity and putting on
eating protein powder,
right? or like working out. I just don't.
Right.
I think that's kind of more of a genetics thing than anything. So,
I got a story if you guys don't mind. It's not a grizzly bear, but it's kind of like a grizzly bear. So this is a story about an elephant. This happened August 13th, 2025. I'm titling this one The Many Mistakes of R. Basavaraju.
Why is it kind of like a grizzly bear?
They walk on four legs. I don't know. Kind of. So I'm going to have you guys, as I read through this story, as I recount this story, just call out any mistakes you hear this guy make, Basavaraju, because he makes a handful. The incident began when Basavaraju, he was walking in a restricted forest area in Karnataka, state of Southwestern
There's
India.
a mistake.
Mistake, right? Maybe even a criminal infringement.
Karnataka. Yeah.
Yeah. Restricted forest, Karnataka. Yeah, thank you.
Karnataka. Yep.
Oh, is that RN? Karnataka?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in India, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's southwestern India. So
I think I'm saying that right.
As he was wandering around, he came upon an elephant who was just munching on some carrots by the side of the road. And Basavaraju is like, hey, this is a pretty good photo opportunity. It's distracted by these carrots. Let's just get one in real quick. So he got as close as he dared, pulled out his camera, and then he turned his back to take a selfie with the elephant.
Ooh, that's not good.
And mistake number 2, probably, right? Okay.
No, I wouldn't say so yet.
Okay. According to one of the bystanders,
I mean,
so a guy
distracted by the carrots.
That's true. You got to give him the benefit of that doubt. So Daniel Osorio was on the scene, witnessing this whole thing go down. The elephant was provoked by the camera flash, is what Daniel is saying, and it immediately just rushed directly, started charging right at Basavaraju.
That's a mistake.
I think so too, right?
When you're taking a selfie, if you want something in the background, you don't use flash.
Yeah. And it was like middle of the day. The sun was out. Not really. Well, I'm not a photographer. Maybe there is a use for flash in that scenario, but that's what seemed to trigger the elephant. So Basavaraju started running away. When he lost his footing, he ran kind of on the ditch by the side of the road. And as it went back up onto the tarmac, he slipped and face planted just right in the middle of a busy road.
Oh, no.
The elephant just immediately was on top of him, trampling him, and thankfully missed most of his upper body and like the vitals, his head and stuff, but it did trample his legs pretty good. And now he's in the middle of the road getting trampled, and there's just a ton of people all around filming this event take place.
I think I saw this video.
The tough thing, it's tough, but
Yeah.
to add a little bit of insult to injury, the elephant ended up ripping his pants and his underwear completely off. So he's just like, face down in the middle of the road without pants on, and people are just taking pictures and filming this happen. So mistake 4, I'm going to say, is not having a better belt. He got stepped on pretty good though. Fortunately, he didn't die, but he did get rushed to the hospital with like some pretty severe injuries.
That's pretty crazy to get trampled by an elephant and not die.
I know. Yeah, it got pretty
against
lucky.
A road.
Yeah, when you see the video, you can see the elephant's feet just passing centimeters away from his head and stuff.
I feel like you're giving him a lot of gruff, so I'm going to say props to him for not dying.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. No, it's great that he didn't die. He did get fined though, which I think is another oh man, that sucks.
It's
it was about $300 US dollars worth of fines for trespassing and provoking wildlife, which is it's not the worst, but after all of that, plus you owe money, it's just oh my gosh, this is the worst,
it's kind of he kind of got punished pretty good for what he did.
They're probably trying. Yeah, they're probably trying to set an example though, because this does, even though it doesn't maybe seem like it, this puts other people at danger too. Because elephants do kind of enter, and we've seen this in some of our other stories, if they get mad enough, they can kind of go on a rampage, and then a lot of other people can get hurt that are also around. So it sucks that this guy got hurt so badly, but also he was endangering other people's lives and this elephant's life by approaching it.
Yeah, so some of the details in the video, after it just very briefly engaged with the man, ripped his pants off and then left, but it started mounting up on trucks and it got really close to a lot of other people, and it looked like it was maybe trying to push some cars around and stuff. It was a pretty agitated elephant, and it's caused a little bit of community uproar because there's been a growing sentiment that tourists taking these kinds of pictures, engaging in this kind of behavior, they need to be facing harsher penalties, even criminal offenses if they do this kind of thing, because I guess up to this point, that's not really been as big a legal issue as it is just kind of like a park infringement or something. But yeah, tried to get a selfie, but now he's viral for a little bit of a different piece of content, I guess.
He got pantsed. Got pantsed by this elephant.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, I've got another one that is pretty tragic, but also kind of, these ones are always hard because it's kind of like the trophy hunter from last month, where I don't want to say like the person should have seen this coming, but also it's like you're doing something where you're obviously accepting some very high risks. And this was, I titled this Tiger Prince Killed by His Trained Tiger. So we all remember the Tiger King. This is kind of the Tiger Prince, and I'll explain why. On September 20th, just a few days ago, 37-year-old Ryan Easley was finishing up a performance for a group of people with his pet cat when something went terribly wrong, because this wasn't just any cat. It was a full-grown tiger, and for whatever reason, on that particular day, this tiger had had enough. Toward the end of the routine, Ryan and the tigers had probably done this routine hundreds of times before. This tiger broke off from its training, and it bit Ryan on his shoulder and neck, briefly shook him violently, and he is thought to have died pretty much instantly from this bite.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
His wife and daughter were unfortunately watching the show. When the tiger backed away from Ryan's body, his wife managed to guide the tiger into a safe enclosure, and he was pronounced dead soon thereafter. So basically, just like a quick aside, what I think probably happened here, like I think about Toad, my cat. This morning, I was like petting him with a brush, and he got so kind of overstimulated that he bit me quickly. And sometimes when I'm playing with Toad, there'll just be like this singular moment of frustration where he lashes out and like bites or scratches. And I think everyone that has ever owned a cat has experienced that before. And the same thing can happen with the tiger. I don't think this tiger was trying to eat Ryan or even trying to kill him. I think it just had a moment of frustration and lashed out. And when it's a tiger doing that, it can be fatal. All it takes is one bite, and that's all this was. And I don't think the tiger even knew what it was doing when it killed Ryan. But apparently Ryan and Joe Exotic, who we all know as the Tiger King, have a bit of history. Ryan had procured a number of his tigers from the Tiger King, as well as Doc Antle, who was also in that documentary. And Joe was quick to make a statement from jail, where he is, Joe Exotic. I think he's in jail for 20-something years, constantly asking Trump for a pardon and constantly not getting it.
Worth a shot.
Yeah, but he, in his statement, he pretty much immediately attacked PETA. And it was really interesting. We've had a few people that pronounce PETA really weird, like Tanya Haddix. And Joe Exotic, in his statement, he capitalized the P and the T and the A, but the E was lowercase. And I don't know why.
What's the acronym?
It's
What's
People
the E
for the
stand for?
Ethical Treatment of Animals. So it's not like the E is a smaller... Yeah. Anyway.
Maybe he's taking a little bit of a subliminal shot there.
It was a really bad tweet because it's one where he could have just said, listen, I know Ryan. I really liked the guy. He had a wonderful family, all of that. But basically, he just used it as a way to talk about himself and attack PETA. He said, working with adult tigers takes guts and skill. So many people do things different when working with tigers. I choose never to make my tigers perform, or even my camel, because it takes losing that love bond between you and that animal. I sold tigers to Ringling Brothers and worked with just about everyone in the business, and you don't get a tiger to jump through a hoop of fire because they love you. When I knew Ryan in the early years, he wanted to be the one with the most tigers in the ring at one time. Myself and John Rinke both said when he was at our place with his tigers that he was going to get killed because some of his cats were crazy in the head, but it was about having the most performing at one time at all cost. Not the best, statement from his buddy in jail, just kind of saying well, he was asking for this.
I called it.
I called it.
Yeah, exactly.
I still sold him the tigers, but I called it.
LeBron is like, I knew he'd get killed by a tiger.
He saw that coming
It also,
10 years ago.
This PETA also did a statement where they're also just kind of trying to score points for their side. It all feels kind of gross to me because the Big Cat Act was passed already. This is a dying industry where many of these people won't ever be able to have cats anymore. It seems like that victory's already happened. So we don't need to be trying to like score points off of something this tragic. But this is from PETA. They said, Ryan Easley, an associate of Joe Exotic, was killed yesterday by a tiger he owned at his roadside zoo. Easley had acquired tigers from Joe Exotic and fellow Tiger King Doc Antle for his business Show Me Tigers, and for years he hauled them around the country, forced them to perform in cruel circuses, and kept them trapped in cages for hours when they weren't performing. In 2017, he was caught violently whipping tigers during training sessions, one of whom was reportedly struck 31 times. When Joe Exotic was operating his Oklahoma roadside zoo, Easley boarded his tigers in cramped cages at the roadside zoo during the winter. It's kind of just like they're just beating a dead horse at this point with Joe Exotic, not with Ryan, but it's like it would suck to be this guy's family and see these two warring entities still like trying to just kind of get at each other using his death.
Yeah.
So anyway, I do think like if you're training tigers, especially to perform, and you're touching them and stuff, it's hard to feel like this is unexpected. But his family's still definitely suffering.
Yeah.
I do feel like the public narrative too has changed so much that PETA doesn't really need to explain all of that to us.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we know tigers in those shows are like not fairly treated anymore. It's not just like some crazy beast that wants to kill. It's like, no, like we kind of get this guy was asking for it. We
all saw the documentary. Yeah.
Have a statement the day after about how bad of a guy he
totally
was.
Like wait a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will just say to our listeners, as far as like these kind of shows and roadside zoos are concerned, just remember that any place like this, they all are going to say in their messaging that they're good for conservation, that they're sanctuaries, that they've rescued these cats from worse situations. Every single one of these roadside zoos is going to have that same message, all of them. But like just kind of a rule that you can use to know if you're at a bad place or not. If there's any kind of human interaction with these cats, if they're touching them or if they're making them perform to do tricks or anything, that is not a true sanctuary. It is not a true rescue. It is a for-profit roadside zoo where there's a very good chance the animals aren't being treated the way they deserve to be treated. So just stay away from those places. But this is obviously unfortunate.
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
So like at the Hogle Zoo with the sea lion, they like have them do tricks for fish. What's the difference?
That is an animal that responds very well to training. That's more enrichment for them, and the people aren't like
They're
at
like
the
more want to be trained than have to be forced to be trained type.
Exactly. It's like bird training and stuff too, and also like at the Hogle Zoo when they do that, they're not like hugging the sea lions and seals and stuff too. You know, there's not like a
and it's
pay to
not
play.
like that's their business. It's not like people like okay.
There are animals like in these accredited zoos and rescues and stuff. There are animals that through decades or longer of like research and having them in captivity, we've learned do like enrichment where there's a human element involved, but like big cats are too dangerous to do that with. They just like it's just not an animal where you can do that and not have some serious
especially like a traveling
risks.
show is just never going to be a good environment.
Yeah.
Well, I have a follow-up.
I did just real quick. I wanted to
ahead.
point out the logo for PETA has the lowercase e in there, so maybe that's what you're seeing people do.
Yeah, that's probably it.
So he's actually being
He's being respectful,
above and beyond to get it right. Shout out Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Dots all of his T's and crosses his I's.
There's certain sponsors that when they come around, we get really excited, and Gooder was definitely one of those sponsors. All three of us love sunglasses, and we are already big fans of Gooder even before they signed up to be sponsors. They sell stylish sunnies that start at only $25 a pair. They come with a 1-year warranty, and they have 30-day free returns. But for me, it's really just the variety of options that they have, how good all of them look. They're lightweight, they're comfortable, they're polarized. They don't slip around on my face or make the bridge of my nose feel weird. I just really like their sunglasses. Like I said, I was already a fan. We actually gave my dad a pair. He never, ever wear sunglasses. And this summer while we were fishing, he just wore them every single time. And multiple times he talked about how much he likes them, how they've kind of changed his perspective on sunglasses, which if you knew my dad, you knew that's pretty impressive. They have vibrant colors, sleek styles. There's a pair for every single personality. And they're designed for everyday wear or people that are really active and are hiking and biking, and people that are out all the time just doing lots of different activities. For me, I really like to just wear them when I'm out in the great outdoors, fishing, hiking, or if I'm just on the beach. Maybe I'm just trying to read a good book and enjoy a little bit of the sound of the waves and the sand. I find that I tend to grab my Gooders regardless of where I'm going. I keep a pair in my car. I have a pair that I keep around the house. I'm just constantly with a pair of Gooders nearby. If you need a new pair of sunnies, Gooder is giving Tooth and Claw listeners free shipping. You can go to gooder.com/tooth and use code TOOTH for free shipping. Gooder offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's GOODR.com/tooth and use code TOOTH for free shipping. My life's been really busy lately, and I think the world has just been especially crazy lately. And that stress can just really build up. And if you're looking for something to help you unwind, a natural way to help deal with your stress, cornbread hemp CBD gummies are a great option. I think for me, I've just tried so many different things to help me unwind at night, to relax a little bit. And a lot of them make me wake up feeling groggy or weird. And that's why I really like cornbread hemp CBD gummies. They're made to help you feel better, whether it's stress, discomfort, or just needing a little relaxation. And they're formulated to help relieve discomfort, stress, and sleeplessness. And the best part about it is they're all third-party tested and USDA organic to help ensure safety and purity. For me, again, I really like natural products. I like something that I know doesn't have a bunch of crazy ingredients when I'm taking it, especially things that are trying to help me with my mental health. And cornbread CBD, they use only the best part of the hemp plant, the flower. So it's the purest and most potent CBD. Right now, Tooth and Claw listeners can save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/tooth and use code TOOTH at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/tooth and use code TOOTH.
Well, Wes, I want you to take on this one because I was kind of wondering about this situation.
Okay.
So this is a lion attack that happened in Bangkok, September 10th, and it was in Asia's largest open air zoo. How do you feel about
like a safari park?
Yeah, so I know San Diego Zoo has something like that, right? And it's like one of those zoos I think where you kind of go on safari inside of a zoo. You're in a vehicle, but then you're in the enclosures. There's no fence between you and the animals.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I think it can be done really responsibly and well, but then there's ones that aren't, I think if you're going in there and you're able to feed these animals or interact with them, then it's probably not that ethical. But if it's like the one in San Diego at the safari park, it's really well done and it's a really cool experience for people. Or Alex, who just went on our Brazil trip, works for one in the Palm Desert where they have a safari element, and that one's a great one too.
So this one, you pay $37 per person to go to the lion and tiger feeding trips, which I don't know if that's too problematic if you're staying in the vehicles and they got to feed the cats anyways, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'd have to look into it.
But, so yeah, on September 10th, an employee who had been working there for over 30 years, he got out of the vehicle to get some food to throw to them, which was very much against policy and the rules of the employees. They're never supposed to get out of their vehicles. And then for whatever reason, a doctor who was on the trip as a guest, Tavachi Kanichiran, said that he stood there alone for 3 minutes outside of the vehicle, which they found very concerning and weird. The employee was just standing there and didn't get back in the car. So then a lion walked up to him and just grabbed his leg and pulled him away from the car.
Wow.
And then 6 other lions came up and they all started killing him as people are watching. And they said he never screamed or anything, which is, I don't know. It's an interesting situation for sure. Yeah. Very tragic. and the park's getting a lot of heat about just like making sure the lions were even licensed to be there, because in
Thailand,
I guess it's legal to have lions.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of licensing, like behind the scenes type of stuff going on where people don't go through the right paperwork and like the policies that they want them to get lions a lot of the time. And there's a lot of breeding going on there, and lions are just like a big issue in Thailand.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't mean to make light of the situation, but it almost seems like a possession or something came over him. Like he wasn't reacting at all. That's really spooky to me.
It's weird that he didn't like make noise once the lions started eating.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it was that happens in that movie, The Happening. Maybe has anyone looked at the plants?
It could have been
that's a good point.
Someone better check that out. Where's Mark?
Where is Mark?
I guess there's like 500 zoos in Thailand with licensed lions, and then there's just a bunch of breeding farms, and like it's a real thing out there. So also, if you're going to Thailand, just be careful about what lions you go to visit.
Yep, do your research, especially in other countries. In the US, it's pretty easy just to kind of look up the accredited institutions, but in other countries you have to do a little bit more research.
And this one's Safari World Bangkok. Actually, I'd have to really dig in, but to me it didn't seem too problematic where it's the biggest open air zoo in Asia. Like at least the animals have space. Yeah. Sounded like they do have licensing for their animals. So like it just was a unfortunate situation where an employee either got careless or just, I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much on what happened, but yeah.
Could you find the video anywhere? Yeah.
Were lions ever living in Thailand, indigenously, or whatever the word is?
I'm pretty sure.
Looking for?
Yeah, natively. Yeah, endemically. I'm pretty sure they were.
Okay.
Yeah. Asiatic lions, I think, were pretty widespread back in the day, but now you can only find them in one little portion of India. So,
where they just pwned the tigers there.
Yeah,
tigers are so scared of the lions in India.
Yeah, let's relitigate that real quick.
Let's not.
Okay, I actually do have a bear story this time. This is a follow-up in a way to a story we covered last time in our news episode about the bear safety drill video that we showed. A little humorous, but it was performed in the wake of some pretty serious bear encounters and fatalities even. So this happened near the end of August of this year, reported by The Independent, but several other sources I got information from as well. So Daisen, this is the northern Akita prefecture. In West, you'll know Akita because that's where a recent poll was taken. No, this is where the prettiest women of Japan live, it turns out, according to a vote.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, don't pretend you didn't know that, Wes.
That.
Oh.
Yeah, shocking.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Anyway, so the police sent out a bear attack warning after, and it depends on what source you're getting information from, but he was either 91 or 93 years old from what I found. So Fujiyoshi Shindo's wife called the police when he found her husband collapsed and bleeding on the floor with huge gaping gash wounds across his body. And like we reported in that last news episode, Japan's been saying pretty recently, they've always had a good amount of bear encounters going on, but especially recently, a lot of fatalities, a lot of unnaturally high amount of bear stuff going on.
Bear
here.
training the police did not working then?
It must not
or
be.
That song they created a few years ago.
Yeah. So just last year, a record amount of people, 219 people were attacked by bears, and there were 6 deaths.
That's a lot.
Which is a lot. It seems like to me,
I think the majority of them are Asiatic black bears, but there are a number of brown bear attacks too, especially in Hokkaido.
Yeah, up in the northern parts, which is kind of where we're dealing. So Akita is like the northwestern, right before you get to Hokkaido.
Oh, I know where it is.
Yeah, you do.
I've heard that so many times, and I still just like always kind of forget that Japan has brown bears. That's cool though. Like shout out Japan.
Yeah, they're really cool looking.
They got
brown bears.
Robots. They got sushi conveyor belts. They got brown bears.
They got a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, pretty women in that one part.
Sumo wrestlers.
They got sumo wrestlers. Oh my gosh, dude. So a bear alert was issued by the community of Daisen. People started freaking out because, again, it's been a hot topic recently. And just a quick rundown of some events that have happened just this past few months. But in July, a newspaper delivery man was killed by a brown bear just in a residential neighborhood, which is a curious event to have taken place in this area. In June, an airport in Yamagata canceled 10 flights after a bear broke through the perimeter fence and was patrolling across the runway. And an interesting one to me, this did happen in Hokkaido, in Sapporo. A bear was found running through the streets just of the city, and they canceled school. It's just like, I don't know, that just seems like an unusual thing for school to be canceled because of bear.
I think for being a country that has this amount of conflict, they still don't have like a great response for it, which is interesting. Like usually when there is that much conflict, you start having some really good management kind of, techniques put in place. And I feel like Japan is still lacking that. And I don't totally understand why.
Yeah, it is curious to me because you grew up in grizzly bear country, even up in Missoula.
Yeah.
Like ostensibly there are bears in the area, but was there ever stories about them like breaching into like the city center?
For sure. Yeah.
There are?
Like every week there's like bears in Missoula,
Okay.
especially in one little neighborhood of town. But like, because they have such a good response system in place, you don't really hear about it because it doesn't cause like widespread chaos, because we did that other story not long ago about the one getting into the grocery store. There's like a full SWAT team standoff with this bear,
Yeah, right.
And it just seems, I don't know, I need to look into it, but it just seems like they don't really have people there that know what they're doing when it comes to bear management.
Mike, that video where like all the wildlife people and police put a trampoline under a bear that's in a tree.
Oh, yeah.
And then they like dart it and it falls on the trampoline and bounces like even higher than it was in the tree and then falls on the ground.
Yeah.
That was in Missoula.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Missoula. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It was like in the middle of the city.
Oh, man. That video, that just makes me sad when I saw that.
I want to alter what I just said and say they definitely have some people there that know what they're doing when it comes to this sort of thing, but it feels like they don't have enough.
If you're in Japan, bring Wes out there to come.
I'd love to go
teach you guys a bit.
Manage some bears in Japan.
He accepts payment in ramen noodle packages.
If Japan is listening, DM us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so there's a bit of a twist to the story. So authorities arrived on the scene. Again, 93-year-old, maybe 91-year-old Fujiyoshi, dead on the ground, big, seemingly, at least according to his wife, it looked like wounds sustained from a bear attack.
Yeah.
In the aftermath of the investigation, the police actually found the wounds to be more consistent with like a knife attack. And prime suspect number one is their son who was living with them, who's 51, is Fujioki. Fujioki Shindo. Or Shindo Fujiyuki. I'm getting that backwards one of those ways. Anyway, they confiscated all the knives in the household. They're still trying to determine what exactly the weapon was that was used. Fujiyuki's defense is that there's no motive as far as has been reported so far. That's probably what he's saying.
Maybe the bear had a knife.
Yeah. But it is interesting because it's not the first time in recent memory that a bear has been blamed for a crime that it obviously did not commit. So it's an interesting little alibi people are trying to skate by on. Not that I think Fujiyoshi, I don't know. It's not like he incepted the idea that it was a bear to his mom, but just kind of a weird coincidence, I thought.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wait to hear what happens out there. Hopefully they got their top dogs on that case.
Yeah. Prime Minister. Let us know.
He got stabbed. Their prime minister did that once.
Shot? Something happened to him. Yeah.
I thought he was stabbed, but
you
maybe
might be
he was
right.
shot. Yeah, I can't remember. All right, so I'm going to do a quick two-parter on two stories that we've done and like kind of some follow-ups. One is a direct follow-up. One is more of a tangential one, and that one is Jeff's recent episode about a man in Australia who was attacked by a saltwater crocodile and used his dog to try and escape the jaws of that beast, his dog Dig Dig. So this one I called Justice for Dig Dig because it's a story from the US where it was a very opposite reaction. So when Danny Wright
used a human as a weapon.
Danny Wright is a Massachusetts resident who moved to Florida 20 years ago, seems to be a pretty tough woman. And when she moved there, she knew that she might have to deal with alligators at some point, but she never imagined it would be in the way that she had to the other week. And this is what she said to NBC 10 in Boston was, I was like, punch, punch, elbow, elbow, kick.
Oh,
so that was her
That's a good
quote.
5-hit combo.
Yeah, but pretty much what happened is she was walking her dog, Dax, who's a 4-month-old Shih Tzu, along a creek when an alligator suddenly exploded from the creek and snatched her dog. And she heard the dog squealing and barking, and then she was pulled toward the creek because the dog was on a leash. And she said, I wasn't going to listen to my dog getting eaten and to see it and to hear it. I'd end up in a psych ward if I went through that. So they're now all three in the water struggling. And the alligator had actually grabbed the dog Dax by his air tag. So by his little GPS air tag on his collar.
So she won't be able to find him if he gets away.
So he better not get away or else it's going to be a whole other problem. But she was able to pull the dog away. And as she was doing this, the gator latched onto her arm. And this is when she was like, punch, punch, elbow, elbow, kick.
Which, like, shout out to her, but that is, like, why you don't in this situation, why it would be acceptable to not save your dog is there's a good chance it will change its attention to you, and now you're in big danger. I'm not saying she did the wrong thing. I'm just saying, like,
you are putting yourself at risk if you try to save your dog.
I'm trying to say, like, shout out to her for putting herself at this risk because that's scary.
Right.
Yeah. So she was bit by the gator, but she credits her upbringing in Boston, Massachusetts for ability to
bar fights.
I don't know why I'm doing a country accent all of a sudden, but to fight off this wicked gator. I don't know Jeff. How do you do your Boston accent? Yeah,
wicked gator.
You just don't do the R's. Shock, shock, gator.
All right,
bear.
Eventually, this alligator did let go of her arm. It took a bit of a pounding, and then it decided to let go. The dog wasn't hurt at all, but she did have some pretty big lacerations on her arm. And had to go to the hospital and get treated for those. But she did manage to save her dog. So good for her and good for Dax. And then the other one I had.
Do you know what they should call if a dog gets wounded? Call them lacerations is what I would call them.
Lacerations. I do like that.
This episode of Tooth and Claw is brought to you by Graza. Everyone knows I love to cook for my friends. Well, actually, that's not true. A select few people know that I do actually really enjoy cooking for my friends. And lately, my favorite new addition to my cooking has been the easy-to-use Graza Extra Virgin olive oil. I love how affordable it is, and it tastes amazing. There's Sizzle, their everyday cooking oil that's perfect for roasting, sauteing, and anything you cook. They also have Drizzle, a super punchy, flavorful finishing oil that's great for dipping bread, whipping up salad dressing. I made an orzo pasta the other day where I used some balsamic salad dressing, and then I used the Drizzle with that, and it was so delicious. Healthy eating is something I'm prioritizing right now, and olive oil is the timeless classic, healthiest fat I add to my meals. So head to graza.co and use Tooth to get 10% off and get to cooking your next chef quality meal. Take your food to the next level with Graza olive oil. Visit graza.co/tooth and use promo code TOOTH today for 10% off your first order. Tooth and Claw listeners know that when you're hiking in Grizzly country, it's important to go prepared. But is hydration a big part of your preparation as well? Because it should be. Stay hydrated without the sugar, food dye, and other dodgy ingredients found in popular electrolyte and sport drinks. Element is a zero-sugar electrolyte drink mix and a sparkling electrolyte drink born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times the government recommendations. Each serving delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes. It's really easy to use while hiking in the mountains or just in your everyday life. You just open a packet of the drink mix, pour it into some cold water, and it tastes amazing. I really love carbonated drinks, so I reached out to our sponsors and asked if I could try out the Element Sparkling Electrolyte drink. They sent me a huge box of it, and I'm absolutely loving it. You have to try the pineapple salt or the black cherry. It's so delicious. If you're like me and you like a carbonated drink, go get the Element Sparkling right now. You won't regret it. Get a free 8-count sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase at drinkelement.com/tooth. Find your favorite Element flavor or share with a friend. And please use that promo code. I've heard from a lot of people that listen to our ads and just order it without our promo code, but it helps us if you use our code, so please use it. Try Element totally risk-free. If you don't like it, give it away to a salty friend, and they'll give you your money back with no questions asked. They have a very low return rate and high reorder rate. So that's drinkelement.com/tooth.
All right. So this one, a few years ago, we reported on this story in a news episode, and it was a woman who tried to take her kid's life by throwing it into a bear enclosure in Uzbekistan. And unfortunately, so when that happened, this woman was put in a psych ward. She was under psychiatric observation for years and had been receiving treatment. And then just recently, on the 2nd of August, 2025, she was discharged from the psychiatric clinic with a recommendation for outpatient monitoring. And this daughter that she had tried to kill in the bear enclosure, she ended up stabbing to death.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And yeah, it goes to show if someone tries to throw their daughter into a bear enclosure to kill them, maybe they need longer behind bars.
Maybe the daughter shouldn't be allowed to go back to that person.
That's probably not someone that should ever have custody of their kids again. Exactly.
It's really sad.
Yeah. All right, those are my 2 follow-ups. I got more stories, but I'll wait for my turn.
All right. Well, I'm going to get all of my stuff out right now.
Okay.
Do it.
So,
Do it.
I just like being in Austria, you know? Something about Austria draws me to it. I think the Austrian Alps, when I see pictures of it, and I'm saying mentally, I like being in Austrian Alps, you know? I like screensavers that show Austrian Alps. I think
they're beautiful.
It'd be cool to hike there. And a retired couple,
good sausages
from Vienna.
There it is.
They also felt that way, and they brought their dog out there. And the 85-year-old hiker was just walking around in the Alps with his wife, just enjoying life. They walk up on a herd of 9 cows. What would your panic meter be at, Wes?
Panic meter would be like a 1.
Mike?
I don't know. Isn't that the 9 cows? That was actually a good sign when Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat saw the cows. That was like a good dream. It was like the season of plenty was coming for Egypt. So I'd be pretty stoked.
You'd be like a negative.
Wes, what is the most dangerous animal in the Austrian Alps?
Like wild animal or animal in general?
Either.
I mean, animals in general, I'd probably say cows.
Really? Is there no
dogs.
Grizzlies or any like predators really out in Austria?
If there are grizzlies, they're really just like passing through. I don't think they have like a real population there. They probably have some wolves, but I think it's mostly like domestics that
like cows are the only things that would really square up with a human.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's why this story really stuck out to me, is just like a lot of our people who have encounters, when you put yourself in their shoes, it's like, it's really sad that happened, but this person should have put themselves in a better situation. And like, there's things you could do to avoid it. And this one, it's just like, man, like that would have for sure happened to me too, you know?
Yeah.
So they see these 9 cows, which 3 of the cows are calves, and the cows just
Does that change your panic rating at all, Wes?
A little. It makes it a little higher. Yeah, honestly.
The cows decide to charge them. They knock them over and they start trampling them. So there's some local people. They're called huts. There's some local people in huts that hear the commotion. They see it happening. They immediately go start assisting them like in the best way they can, and then get emergency services there. They were taken to a hospital, and the man died from his injuries before he could even get to emergency surgery.
Wow.
So I was just like, wow, a cow killing you in the Alps seems 1 in a million, right? Well, maybe, I guess, because there's 9, it's more than that, because there's 9 million people there that visit the mountains. But in 2024, a woman with 2 small dogs was also hiking in the Salzburg region and was killed by a herd of cows that charged her. So They're telling people to be really careful when you're walking with dogs, which is something Tooth and Claws told people as well. Keep them on a short leash, and they think maybe the dogs kind of provoked some attack, but I'm not reporting that that's what happened. That wasn't reported, but they did say, like, make sure if you have dogs, keep them on a short leash because that can provoke a attack. And I just think it's interesting that if you're in the Alps, you gotta watch out because they do have free ranging cows, and like, I think it's a little different than our cows, where our cows are just so controlled and like, so their lives, these ones are just like out in the mountains. And it's like, it is a big animal that used to be a wild animal until we completely domesticated them. So I just feel like you do have to be careful of any big animals you see, even, no matter how familiar you are with them, especially in like a out in the open type of setting.
Yeah.
And then I just want to give my honorable mentions real quick too. There's 2 fathers that recently have died from crocodiles. Someone was killed in South Africa, and someone was killed in Indonesia. And then,
so the South Africa one would be a Nile crocodile, not a saltwater crocodile.
Okay, I said crocodiles.
Yeah.
So
I thought you said saltwater crocodiles. My bad. Okay,
yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
cut that,
and then,
Bill.
No, I wanted you to say what type it was, so don't cut it, Bill.
Okay.
But yeah, so one was probably a Nile and one was probably saltwater, right? Indonesia was saltwater, and
sure.
South Africa was Nile.
Yeah, for sure, those 2 species.
And then the South African one sounded a lot like the story I did too, where he was kind of slowly dragged in, but just didn't have the mangroves to hold on to, or a dog to hit it with, or something.
And a bunch of people
dig.
were there and saw it, which is pretty terrible.
And then also a bachelor party in South Africa. Someone went into his tent after like partying all night, and they like left a little crack in the top, and 2 hyenas jumped in through the top of the tent. And there's like a big female that bit his legs, and then a littler one that bit him on the face. And that's kind of just an interesting story.
I was thinking about that one. Like, imagine just going really hard at your buddy's bachelor party, and you're like maybe not in a total, sober state of mind in your bed, and suddenly 2 hyenas show up. It would be so weird. Like, you just
especially if they were laughing. If they were like laughing, I'd be like, wait, this is a prank. Yeah. This is my buddy's pulling a prank. All right, that's all I got.
Great. It's a little weird to frame those as your honorable mentions to me somehow, but I see where you're trying to get at.
I shouldn't have said honorable.
Notable
headlines.
Notable.
Yeah.
Notable
something like
stories.
Well,
thank you for calling.
Sure.
No, I'm glad you called that out.
Yeah. I didn't want to be Mr. Pedantic, but that's just kind of who I am. So yeah.
Very honorable of that man to be attacked by those hyenas. Yes.
Right. Okay. I've got just a quick one, then I'll pass it off for you to finish whatever else you've got, Wes. So this is a story kind of developing. We don't have a whole lot of information. More or less, the headline will give it away. But recently in the Ivory Coast, a hippo capsized a boat. It was a pretty narrow canoe-like boat. There were 11 people on it, including some children and at least one infant. Yeah.
Well, sorry, I read this one too. But it said that 11 people went missing and 3 people survived. So I think there's 14 people on it.
Okay, so 14 people total then, 3 survivors. But it is curious though that 11 people are just gone. I wouldn't expect that on just like a river. I don't know what kind of river it was. It doesn't sound like it was intense whitewater rafting or anything, but the fact that 11 people are not able to be found makes me think that there's something a little more at work than just drowning, but I could be wrong. That's total speculation on my part.
I read it too, and I couldn't find any updated articles. I looked through like 30 that just said 11 people missing, but then like some spokespeople said like, we condolences to the family, and like their speech was very much as if they think these 11 people are dead.
Yeah, right.
I know that like some of these people may have been children and stuff too. I think it's very likely that it was mostly drowning that happened. Okay. Because I do think, if a hippo capsizes your boat in the middle of a river, there's a lot of chaos. there's a lot of splashing and boat flipping or maybe hitting people. Who knows? So my guess would be it's probably mostly drowning that happened to these people. I don't think it was the hippo or other animals.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to insinuate anything more than just like it is a high number of people on that fatality list for. Yeah, it's tough. Sucks.
It's a lot of people for one hippo.
Could be some crocodiles too. Yeah.
Over to you, Wes.
Pretty sad. I have a quick kind of funny one that is a bit of a chlamydia update for koalas.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
As we've talked about a lot on this show, koalas are sick little bastards, and they're constantly giving each other chlamydia. And that's mostly through sexual intercourse, but sometimes it's also through the mom.
White elephant gift exchanges.
The mom like feeds her babies this stuff called pap, which is kind of a fecal thing. Yeah, but they can get it from that as well.
Oh.
But essentially there's parts of Australia where like up to 90% of the koalas in those populations have chlamydia, and it does really affect them. It does kill a lot of koalas. It's a huge problem. So a regulator has approved a world first vaccine to try and protect koalas from chlamydia infections. This would be a single dose vaccine that a koala would receive once and would make it so the symptoms of chlamydia didn't have any effect on them. It would decrease mortality from the disease in wild populations by up to 65%, or at least 65%. So really, the idea here is there's like probably somewhere around 100,000 wild koalas out in Australia. There would probably be teams that would go out and just vaccinate wild koalas, or if like a koala got hurt or something and ended up in a veterinary hospital, they would just make sure to give this vaccine to any and all koalas that they ever get their hands on. It's been a really big undertaking. A lot of money's been sunk into doing this. There are some people that are kind of poking holes in this. Deborah Tabbert, who's the chair of the conservation charity Australian Koala Foundation, says that these resources would have been much better spent on saving koala habitat. And she says, at the risk of sounding flippant, how can anyone be so delusional as to think you can vaccinate 100,000 animals? That's ridiculous. I accept that chlamydia is an issue for koalas, but I also want people to understand that they're sick because they haven't got any habitat. And we've talked about this a lot recently in the podcast, but when animal populations become fragmented, and when you have these populations where there's no animals coming in or out of those subpopulations, they often do get all the same diseases. And in this case, a lot of that habitat now is butted up against agriculture. And we do think these koalas are getting chlamydia as a result of being so close to agriculture and to livestock and whatnot. So I do think she's right.
Open up like a line to get to other koalas, then won't they spread their chlamydia to all those other populations that don't have it as much?
They all have it. There's no population in Australia that doesn't have at least some chlamydia now.
If I ever get it, you know what happened.
Yeah, you got it from a koala. I don't know what happened.
That'd be so far down the list of guesses of where you got it.
I would hope it's very far down the list. Anyway, so I kind of find myself in the middle of these two camps. I agree with this woman. Like, yeah, you know, the best money that could be spent on koalas is protecting habitat. But I also think it's really cool that they have a vaccine for this now for koalas.
Feels like it would be one of the easier animals to vaccinate too.
Yeah.
Just as far as like they're not
finding them and getting a dart in them.
Escaping things.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a big culture war now in koala society about like whether or not they're vaxxed? Like when koalas die, are they going to be like vaxxed?
Was that vaxxed?
Yeah.
Right. So how is a koala's behavior gonna change once it no longer has chlamydia? Is it just gonna be more energetic or what?
I think it affects them in a lot of different ways. I don't know fully how, but I do know that one thing they've tried to do is give them antibiotics to deal with it when they do find sick koalas. But those antibiotics make it so they can't digest eucalyptus anymore. So it really affects with their digestion. So there's not like an easy fix for it. And the disease itself does have like some pretty pronounced symptoms in them. So It's a big problem for them. This isn't like a small
Yeah.
problem. Yeah. They just got to be a little safer. These little
Wrap it
perverts. Yeah, exactly. All right.
up. Save it till they're married, maybe.
Yeah, save it for marriage.
I forgot one thing before we go to categories. I just wanted to do like, because these ones can get a little depressing. I feel like just how many people get attacked. So I want to do a uplifting conservation thing. I don't think we've ever talked about it. I'm sorry if we have, but the Iberian lynx.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So they live in Spain and Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2001, there were only 62 mature individuals in the wild. So they were like critically endangered and at the point of almost being extinct. And then they put a ton of effort into preserving them. So in 2022, they got their population up to 648. And then in 2024, there's estimated to be over 2,000.
Wow.
And
Nice.
a lot of that was they also put a lot of conservation into the endangered European rabbit. And that was like a big food source for the lynx. So like having the rabbit go endangered made it so the lynx went endangered. So they got a lot more rabbits. And now they're getting a lot more lynx. And it's just a really great success story that I wanted to shout out.
Cool. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, Iberian lynx. Is that it? You got any more stuff, Les?
No, I'm done. I'm good.
Sounds like Jeff and I are done too. So categories it is, right?
Yeah.
Let's go.
You put them together today.
I did put them together. Wes gave me the enviable task. It's always so fun just thinking of questions to ask you guys, you know?
Yeah.
You went out of the box with it this week.
You're
A little
always
bit.
the best at it.
I tried to make it more interesting than like, you like bears, right? That's my category. You like bears.
What's your favorite bear that
Yes or
wears
no?
a hat in pop
Right.
culture?
Okay.
That's a good one. Paddington for sure.
Well, we've done, I mean, everyone knows that. We don't need to deliberate. Okay, so this is something that's been kind of weirdly top of mind for me because September always occurs to me as like being such a tweener month. It's like not really summer anymore, but it's not really quite fall either. So I'm wondering if you guys have September in your top half or your bottom half of favorite months out of the year.
Top.
Yeah. Why?
So I'm going to tell you my cons for September before I tell you my pros. My number one con is that in Montana, at least, the nights get cold enough that the water starts getting really cold. So you can't really like swim or spend as much time in water as you were able to before. Like in August, it's just so nice going down to the river and swimming and stuff. But outside of that, I love September. I feel like it cools off a little bit. It's generally when our wildfire smoke starts to clear out. It's when our leaves really start to change a lot here. I just think it's like such a beautiful, nice transition month. And I used to hate the fall, but I think a big part of that was because I hated it because school started. And I've slowly gotten away from that. And now between like October being one of my favorite months because of Halloween and just the fall in general, September's definitely top half month for me.
Okay.
I think it's my favorite month.
Wow.
Really?
I think it's my number one. It's between that and October, but I think I'd give the edge to September.
But you're a huge 9/11 fan, and that's why you like it so much.
Yeah. Building 7. I don't know what happened with that.
You got it. Open your eyes, sheeple.
But anyways, yeah. I mean, the fishing's still pretty good. The colors change. It's like warm, but not like too hot. And the summer drains me a lot. And I kind of start getting the wind under my sails a lot more in September.
Yeah.
Football's
How about
back.
you, Mike?
Football's back.
It's your birthday month.
It is. Yeah.
I forgot.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Me too.
Wait,
almost,
can I
kinda.
say, sorry, Mike, I don't want to like steal
Sure.
your thing right now, but
Yeah.
it was Mike's birthday last time we recorded, and
And we both
me and
forgot.
Wes didn't know. And then I was just scrolling Reddit, and on the Tooth and Claw Reddit, someone said, like, I think it might be Mike's birthday today. And it was like, if so, happy birthday, Mike. And I went to Google, and I
Shout out
Googled
Reddit.
Bilbo Baggins birthday, and it's September 22nd because that's how I remember Mike's. then I was like, Mike, happy birthday. But that's the best present, is to leave you alone on your birthday.
It was the best birthday, yeah. Since I celebrated it with my family the day before, so we got all that out of the way. So the actual day itself was just me and a bunch of leftover cake. Dude, it was so sweet.
Nice.
See, that Reddit user, that was me, actually. It was like, oh, no one remembered.
Like, I need to prompt him somehow.
No, not really. It didn't bother me at all. And I hope you guys know that. It's either 6 or 7 for me. I can't decide on which side of the line it falls. Because I definitely like October, November, December more. And I think I like April, May, and June more as well. But April and May is a little forgettable too for me. So I don't know.
Yeah. What's the month that it's like either 6 or 7 with?
May, probably.
April. Oh, May. You like April more than May?
I don't really think, not a whole lot's going on in May for me. I don't know.
May is when it starts to get really green and pretty. So May is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And there's that joke always where it's like, it's going to be May.
Yeah,
that's fun to see.
No,
I forget about it. And then I'm like, oh, that's good.
NSYNC, not Backstreet
I think I like May, June, July, October, and December more than September. But then I think that September's next. So it's what?
Just way too
It's 6 for me. Yeah.
The fall colors right now are so good.
They're going to be even better in like 2 weeks.
I don't know. They're pretty peak right now.
This is kind of peak, I feel like.
Well,
yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
That's a
great question.
Good to get that out of the way. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we know how we all feel about September. The people were asking.
Wake me up when September ends.
Exactly.
Mike.
We know how Billy Joe feels about it. Doesn't even want to be awake for it. It's just... sleep a little. Okay, so Fat Bear Week just started. I think yesterday voting began. I was wondering if you guys were competing, what your strategy is going to be. Like, what food are you going to eat? How are you going to go about gaining the most weight for the winter season?
Am I a bear or am I myself?
You're yourself.
Oh, I did it as a bear, and my answer is just eating a bunch of salmon.
Oh, well, that's a good strategy. It works. It's worked in the past for bears.
As a person, I would say for me, like the thing I can just eat and eat and eat without ever like feeling like I don't want more is cookies. Yeah. So I would just eat as many cookies as possible. I would make those like Hershey Kiss peanut butter cookies. I would eat a ton of those. I would have just packs of Oreos on hand, and I would just go real hard on cookies. And I think that would be my quickest way to gain the weight.
Peanut butter's a good one. That stuff has so many calories somehow. I don't understand nuts, how that works.
I do find that after Christmas is always when I'm like my beefiest, and it's mostly because of cookies.
Yeah.
I'll stick with my thread, but give a better human answer too. One of the foods I can just keep eating forever is sushi. So maybe I'll just get like a bunch of salmon sushi.
Oh, that could work. With some rice for the carbs.
Cream cheese in there.
Get some cream cheese. I think I'm on board with the Oreo idea, Wes. But I will say the least healthy I've ever been was when I was working the night shift. And I've come to learn some science that like sleeping at night is actually incredibly important for regulating like hormones and insulin and stuff. And I think that really did a number on me. So whatever I'm eating, it's going to be through the night. Yeah.
I'd rupture my patellar tendon again, so I can't move.
That works.
I used to be thin.
You'll probably do that regardless.
All right.
With all your surgeries.
Next one. Oh, yeah. So, Joe, we brought up Jeff was in an escape room, if we keep that part in the intro. So what is the most dangerous animal you feel like you could have completed that escape room if it were in the same room with you guys at the same time?
That we think we actually could have completed it, though?
Yeah. Like you're confident you're going to complete it still.
It was me and Danielle, and she's smart. Yeah. There's like 2 brains, but I was like 3/4 of a brain, and she
doesn't have a headache.
1 and 1/4 of a brain, you know? And we couldn't get through, so I feel like I'd need a really smart animal. So I think like coyotes are pretty good at getting out of stuff. Like I can't, like you're putting it in as far as like what could I escape from? Right. But like I'm gonna need this animal's help to get out. So I'm thinking like a coyote or a dolphin or something like that.
I think the most dangerous animal I could have in there and still make it out would be like a black mamba. Because I feel like there's some real danger there, you know, but I could probably avoid it and still get through the room. But like I think there's snakes that would be a lot easier to avoid, but then they're not nearly as dangerous.
Right.
So I think that's like right at that line where it's super dangerous, but I could probably still do it.
Yeah. So I did take the liberty of texting Danielle to ask her this question. And she said,
great.
I don't think I could have escaped the room without clues from the guide. And I hated it so much. I wish something really dangerous was in there so it would kill me and just put me out of my misery. That was her answer.
She was getting real frustrated.
Sounds like a great time for Danielle.
Yeah. No, it made me feel so justified because like I've been telling Jeff that I would hate it. I've never done it, but I am confident that I would hate it. And after last night's events, I'm
really glad
good.
you didn't come because we were pressuring you. But like the first one we did was so cool and it was really fun because like, yeah, we like communicate a little bit, but you also just kind of work on your own thing, and there's like a really cool room. And then this one is like so dark you couldn't like read the clues, and it's just
sounds miserable.
Not great. I think you'd like it, Mike. I don't like if we got a good one.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I don't know.
So
immediately dismisses
that was Jeff's category. We're going to Wes.
I was wondering, would you give a harder no if I invited you to play frisbee golf or go to an escape room, Mike?
Oh, I'd go to an escape room 1,000 times out of 1,000. I truly despise frisbee golf. I think like it's beyond.
It's just funny because it's such
hatred.
A stupid, simple little thing to like hate that much.
And it seems like something Mike would love too.
Hate.
I don't agree with that.
Hate.
Yeah.
I'm like
love is too strong.
I'm like AI and I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream when he gives the monologue. Hate. Okay, Wes, this is your category.
Yeah.
Birding. You're a big birder. It's kind of like collecting, and I equated that to the one collection I ever really got started down when I was younger, Pokemon cards. So I want you to create a Pokemon card out of the rarest bird you've ever seen. Just what's going to be like its stats, what's on the card, what's it look like, etc.
Yeah, so I had a hard time thinking of like what's the rarest bird I've ever seen. And that's because I'm not someone who really like keeps a list, or it's hard for me to go back and like really think on it. But I did pick one that I know is like relatively rare, especially in parts of its range, that I think for being a rare bird, I had like such an incredible experience with. And that's the Andean condor. It's one of the largest flying birds in the world. So that would be one of its stats. Its wingspan gets up to 10.5 feet.
Probably has a lot of HP.
Yeah, a lot of HP when it comes to flying, especially. And I think its special power would be its ability to soar on thermals.
Okay.
For me, the coolest thing, the reason I picked this bird is there's places in South America where you can see them, but it's usually like you see a little soaring bird and you're like, oh, that's an Andean condor, you know? But in Chile, I went to this place where I hiked up a mountain and there was a roost, and I had Andean condors flying in front of me at eye level at like 20 feet away. And it was just such an incredible experience with a really rare bird. And yeah, so for me, like, what other things are on Pokemon cards? I'm not a big Pokemon player.
That's a good question.
What else should I do?
Is it going to be holographic? Is it going to be all shiny and stuff?
It would be holographic. They have this really cool crest on their head, the males especially. And they have a white collar that's really beautiful. Hillary Henke, who was on our macaw episode, our friend that does bird training, she's in the middle of training an Andean condor. It's been really fun following her Instagram and seeing her progress with this just monster of a bird. They're so big. How much
damage could it take?
That's the other thing is I think they could take a lot of damage because it's a really big bird. And
like
really
120 damage points?
HP.
Is that high? Yeah.
Would it evolve into a bigger condor ever?
That's a good question.
This would be its final stage of evolution.
This is the final stage.
Because this is a big
What about
bird.
that one we saw in the Himalayas with like red feet?
That was
a curved bill.
A bearded vulture, and
the one in the river with the
yeah.
Wasn't that one super rare?
That was what
a
was
plover
that bird
or something?
It wasn't a plover.
Piping plover.
Plumbus.
It wasn't a plover.
Red-footed piping plover.
That's not what it was. I can't remember what it was, but that's not it. But yeah, that was a rare bird. That bird's more just that it was migratory and we were kind of right at the end of it, I think. So we were lucky to see it. But yeah, I honestly was trying real hard to think on like the rarest bird I've seen, and I really don't know. But Andean
No, you did a
condors
good
are
job.
definitely rare.
Thermal Soar sounds like a Pokemon move. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he's using Thermal Soar. I'm dead now. Probably.
When it's cool, because you'll see them just soaring, and they're not flapping their wings or anything. They're just like riding these thermals, and they can do that for a really long time. It's really cool.
Yeah. How much
Great
would you
bird.
buy that card for?
I'd buy it for like $20,000.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jake
Without
Paul spent
even-
$2
yeah,
million on
I-
a Charizard, but like that's
Logan.
abnormal. Yeah, Logan, that's right. Sorry, I got my
I
Pauls
kinda-
mixed up.
Listen, make fun of the Pauls all you want.
I will.
And I normally
I will. Thank
won't
you.
clap back at all. But
Yeah.
I think the Charizard necklace is cool.
It's sweet.
And it's like,
It's cool. Is it $2 million cool?
well, that's the whole point of wearing like a blinged out necklace in the first place. It's to show your wealth, right? So
I
he's
get that
kinda
that's the
just
point.
like,
I don't think
look
it's
at
cool
this.
at all, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. All right.
Yeah.
You're the odd one out then, Wes. Okay. I'm gonna do so. I gave myself a category because I've embarked on a pretty like a couple month long project at this point now. So I went back and I re-listened to all of Taylor Swift's album, and I'm gonna do my report just real quick. 5 things off the top of my brain.
Which album? The new one?
No, so we did the
Like all of
listener
it, right?
songs. Yeah, we did the listener song bracket to great success. People seem to really enjoy that. I was still a little hung up on the Taylor Swift, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do my homework. If I'm ever going to criticize her again, I'll at least be able to say I did the work. So I went back. I've listened to every single thing that she has released
Wow.
studio wise. I haven't gotten into the live releases, but
did you like read about her dating history to like know the stories of the songs while you were listening to
see,
them?
I tried to do as much work as I could, but at a certain point, stuff started just bouncing off my brain.
I mean, it adds context to it.
That's
Right.
my
But
personal
go ahead.
escape
Go ahead.
room.
So yeah, that's a level 10 escape room for us. So
I would just sit there.
I should have trusted my instincts. So 1989 is still my favorite album. I think despite having my least favorite
Of
song
hers.
on it, it's my favorite album. Yeah, not ever of all time by anyone. It's my
I
favorite
love
Taylor
it. You
Swift
just
album.
Emerge from this like a hardcore Swiftie.
Yeah. So my favorite song, again, I should have just known, but it was All You Had to Do Was Stay. I think it's a perfectly constructed pop song. Blank Space is, of course, great. But Bad Blood, I think, is my least favorite song
Ooh, I
that
kinda
she's
like
ever
that one.
put out. I
Yeah.
think it's like stripped down to the molecule to just be radio friendly as possible. But anyway,
Sure.
still love the album. I like it more than her re-release. I like the original version of 1989 more than her version, but I do like her version of Red much more than the studio release originally. So take that for whatever that
Wow.
means. Evermore, better album I gave it credit for initially. Not amazing, but a lot better than I was giving it credit for. Midnights is my least favorite album, which has Jeff's favorite song on it, I think. The Vigilante, whatever that's a terrible song, Jeff. I'm sorry.
It's a good song.
Tortured Poets Society, I think is what it's called. Still a boring album. I apologize. And my last observation is that Travis Kelce is washed, baby. Get him out of the league. He sucks.
Yeah,
The Chiefs,
he does
oh
suck.
man, suck my dick.
He's always mad now.
He's been
Like, he
yelling
thinks-
at the coaches a
I
lot.
know.
There's
Yelling
like
at his
not.
teammates.
There's like
Catch the ball, how about, before you start yelling,
Right.
Travis?
Too big for his britches. Yeah.
So wait, did you come out of it liking her any more than when you started,
Not really.
or any less?
It kind of solidified, probably a little more, honestly.
Okay.
And I've never said that she's bad. I just personally don't care for her music, at least recently. But she is working with Max Martin again for this newest album, The Life of a Show, whatever the album's going to be called. So I'm excited for that because turns out all of my favorite stuff was produced in tandem with Max Martin by her side. So that's exciting to me.
Great. All right.
I
Well,
think that's
That's it.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
everyone
you.
for recommending stories for us.
Yeah.
We
Helpful.
appreciate it. It is helpful. Thank you to our intern Bryn for categorizing them for us. It's really
Thank you,
helpful.
Bryn.
That's also very helpful. Thank you, Bill, for helping us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, India. Anyone get that reference?
For sure, India.
Oh, thank you. Everyone's a little problematic.
Sure. Not everyone, but yeah. All right.
All
We'll
right.
see you guys later. Love you.
Love you guys.
See ya.
Bye.